Again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program. Again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program. Once again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program. Once again, today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, once again, today's top stories.
the past, forever locked in regret. But what if the past could be changed? Years have come and gone since the night that saw the end of the world, my world. The service needed someone on the Titanic. They chose me. I was to wait for a signal from my contact, so I remained in my cabin. I left only once Georgia was on board, and that's when it came. There'd be no second chance. It was Sunday, April 14th. Too late, you see, for the Titanic. For me. What if I'd met with my contact, prevented disaster? What if the past could be changed? What then?
I was wondering when you'd arrive. Welcome aboard the Titanic. I am Smeddles, your steward. I have a letter for you from Bruce Ismay, your host. The line has instructed me to relay the following information. Like her twin sister, the Olympic, the Titanic was built at the shipyards of Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. Construction began in March 1909. At over 46,000 tons, the Titanic is the largest ship in the world. A triple-screw steamer, she has 3 propellers. This, one of the wing propellers, is 23 feet in diameter. The ship is powered by 29 coal-fired boilers and runs at a top speed of 23 knots. The ship is 882 feet, 9 inches long, and 92.5 feet wide. Stood on end, she would dwarf the great buildings of the world, including the planet's tallest, the 750-foot-high Woolworth Building in New York. The Titanic's outfitting was completed in March of this year. After only 1 day of sea trials, she proceeded directly to Southampton for provisioning and the boarding of her 2,200 passengers and crew. The ship is under the command of Captain E.J. Smith, who has over 40 years of experience on the sea. Most recently, he commanded the Olympic on her maiden voyage. We will arrive in New York no later than Thursday, April 18th, and possibly even earlier. The Titanic is your home until then. Please do not fail to avail yourself of the many luxuries and amusements she has to offer. You are now free to explore the ship at your convenience. Do you desire additional instructions? Very good. We of the White Star Line hope that your stay on board Titanic is as relaxing as possible. As you explore the ship, please bear in mind the following advice. The mouse is your hands, the keys your feet. If you find the screen too dark or too bright, follow the directions on the control screen help panel or consult your manual on adjusting your monitor. To find the control panel help and other features, click on the life preserver at the bottom of the screen. The control panel has a help button as well as a quit feature. Remember, you cannot save your tour. You may also adjust the volume. Test the settings by clicking on the black knob. You may also switch the theme music on or off. After making any adjustments, click OK to return to your current scene. Wandering the ship, if you notice a hand, it indicates something to click on. May I suggest you do so? You shall want to converse with other passengers. If you fail to understand them, click on their face. They will repeat their last sentence. At any time, you may click on the ship symbol below to view the passengers and crew who volunteered to serve as your personal tour guides. Click on their picture. You will go to their onboard location automatically, where they will relay news and information. I trust you'll find it fascinating. If you have an internet browser, new guides will be available periodically on Cyberflix's homepage on the World Wide Web. Our address: www.cyberflix.com. Remember, you must first quit the CD-ROM to download new guides. I am most certain you will find the internet to be the very latest in modern technology, just like the Titanic. Now, if you will excuse me, good night.
Hello, Leyland Trask is the name. Luxurious, is it not? And excellent for meditation. Do you know anything about time travel? It's curious. I was just reading this book. It was written in 1892, only 14 years ago, but it's weirdly modern. It's about a ship called the Titan, the largest ever built. It was supposed to be unsinkable, but in the book, the ship sinks with everyone on board. Gives me the shivers. But the shivers aren't that uncommon in my line of work, visions, predicting the future, that sort of thing. For the past couple of days, though, it's been very odd. I keep seeing newsboys and the word Carpathia. I can't figure it out at all. Good evening.